Prince wasn't just a musician. He was a frequency, a vibration of love that transcended time and space. But what if his energy could be visualized? Using astrology's sacred geometry, we reveal his soul's love mandala, painted by the stars. My name is Liyanne. I am an astrology artist and your guide to this love mandala of Prince. There are 3 octaves of love, 3 planets of love in astrology. The first is Venus, our next door neighbour and second rock from the sun. She is the first octave of personal love, one-to-one love, beauty and sensuality. Next is Neptune, 8th rock from the sun and the second octave of divine love, universal connection and artistic transcendence. And then the dwarf planet Haumea, beyond Pluto in the Kuiper belt. She is the 3rd octave of creation, regeneration and multi-dimensional unity. Each octave has a pattern from which I form a mandala called a light song. In this video, the first of 3, I am going to explore this first octave of Prince's love trio, his light song of Venus. Before we delve into the world of Prince and his starry makeup, we start with Venus. This image of her is from Botticelli's famous painting, Birth of Venus, set beside the blank horoscope of Prince's birth. Botticelli's painting depicts a moment from the Greek myth in which Kronos, Saturn, severs Uranus's genitals and flings them into the ocean. Venus, or Aphrodite, emerges fully formed from the foam of a cresting wave. I include this story because in Prince's own Venusian vibration, Uranus is a key player. Before I even began to put together Prince's light song of Venus, I had already decided that I was going to use this image to include for his Venus vibration. This image was created for his Love Sexy album. He had many gorgeous images out in the world, and yet this one is the one for me that feels the most Venus, and him as a beautiful one. In my opinion, this is the closest a man can get to channeling the birth of Venus. And in some ways, it's entirely appropriate that this is his own birth of Prince to accompany his birth chart and Venus light song. Astrology is not a belief, it is a language of the stars. Just like French, astrology is something you speak, something you understand. I also like to think of it as the original multi-layered, never-ending personality type tool, a bit like Myers-Briggs and those type of tools that are used as a roadmap to inner standing. I've learned and am still learning to speak the language of Western tropical astrology. This is based on the seasons, not the stars. The seasons are named after the stars that were visible at the time when astrology was developed by our ancient ancestors. They used the stars as stellar signposts to know when they were in the year. And so Aries is still the name used for the season that begins at the spring equinox. In astrological language, sentences are made from placements in the map of the heavens at birth. Here you see Prince's blank birth chart, the horoscope, with the signs around the outside and the houses the next layer in. Each house 1 to 12 represents an area of life we traverse in our own personal hero's journey. It is the where of astrology. To complete the sentence, we add planets that are the what and zodiac signs that are the how. Planets are the what, signs are the how, and houses are the where. At this point, it's important to note that the correlations used as the foundation of astrology come from the astronomical diaries. Over 600 years worth of sky to earth observances from a time when astrology and astronomy were one and the same, before astronomy got carved out of astrology to become a separate discipline that is only concerned with the heavens, divorced from earthly goings-on. The astrology chart is also our cosmic blueprint. Once we add the planets to this picture, they will draw lines of energy in the center, lines of light, a vibratory pattern. It is generally accepted that we are light vibrating. Everything is light vibrating. Look up the EMF, electromagnetic frequency, spectrum, and you will see us humans there. You will also discover that the amount of light we can see, the visible light spectrum, is only a tiny fraction of the entire light spectrum, and the way we perceive light is as color. There's one form of invisible light that we've named Wi-Fi, short for wireless fidelity. Crudely speaking, this is a form of invisible light vibration, one that we rely upon and use every single day. The light vibrations from the cosmos we live in creates a constantly changing pattern. It helps to zoom out and envisage us as passengers on a planet that is moving around the sun, and in turn the sun is moving through space. Imagine the cosmos as an ocean, and imagine the patterns forming from ripples that are created by the movement of all the objects within this cosmic ocean. That is the blueprint we are born with, an energetic snapshot from the cosmic ocean, imprinted as we take our first breath. The astrology chart has those energetic lines drawn at the center. I call it the heart of the chart. It contains our personal, sacred geometry. I paint the ripples of energy in the shape of light, a wave, and in the colors attributed by Pythagoras, the ancient Greek polymath and father of music. Each ripple is a note, a vibration, and this is why I call these astrology mandala layers light songs. In the words of the current day polymath, Robert Edward Grant, geometry is music for the eyes. So are light songs. Now, with all of that groundwork laid, let's dive in and explore the first octave of Prince's Love Mandala, his LightSong of Venus. When Prince was born, Venus, the goddess of love, was in her earthly and receptive home of Taurus. Here she is sensual, lush, and deeply connected to music, art, and the embodiment of beauty. The sixth house represents daily work and rituals. Prince was known for his meticulous, almost sacred approach to music making. He lived and breathed his craft, creating daily, like a ritual, a devotion, a daily ritual of beauty and love. Prince created his own sanctuary called Paisley Park. It wasn't just a studio, it was a living temple of sound, colour, and creation, where art and love intertwined. Venus resides in the sixth house alongside the south node of the moon, an energetic point in astrology that is known as the dragon's tail, and very much connected to previous lives and the realm of spirit. An asteroid placement really hones a message in a chart, almost like an underline, and so it comes as no surprise to find the asteroid talent, which is what it says on the tin, joined with the south node. To me, this speaks of Prince coming into this life gifted with a load of Venusian talent. First line of Prince's main Venus pattern is an opposition line, active and dynamic, and often described as a line of tension. It runs from Venus to her higher octave, Neptune, the mystic, in the sign of Scorpio and in the 12th house. Neptune rules dreams, illusions, and transcendence, and in Scorpio it goes deep into mysticism, sexuality, and transformation. The 12th house is the realm of spirituality, hidden truths, and the subconscious. The mystic Neptune is entirely at home here, as it seems was Prince. Prince often spoke about his music being channeled from a higher realm, from God. This Neptune placement, joining his north node of the moon, said to indicate soul direction, builds on the Venus south node influence and implies a spiritual mission for his gifts. Prince was deeply mystical. The Love Sexy album is one example of spiritual themes in his music. The Rainbow Children concept album is another. It takes the listener through the fictitious story of a social movement toward a Martin Luther King Jr. inspired utopian society. The album seemed to allude to Prince's then recent conversion to the Jehovah's Witnesses denomination. Egyptian monotheism and New Age concepts such as the Akashic Records are also used as metaphors. Does this epitomize his Neptune and North Node in Scorpio? I would say yes. Jazzier than any of his previous efforts, and with a strange Darth Vader voiceover at points, this album was met with mixed reactions. Some fans saw the album as a musical and spiritual evolution for Prince. The third and final point in this Venusian pattern is Uranus, in the sign of Leo and in the 9th house. He is joined to Neptune through another line of tension, an aspect that is called a square. Uranus is the planet of innovation, rebellion, and awakening. In Leo, it shines as a bold, revolutionary, creative force. The ninth house represents philosophy, higher knowledge, and global influence. It's not too much of a stretch to describe Prince as a modern-day prophet of love in all its forms, freedom, and self-expression. He was a creative revolutionary and shone his leonine heart on the world stage. The Uranian influence in his art is very clear to see. Prince's band of the Purple Rain era was even called the Revolution. He constantly pushed boundaries, whether in music, identity, or industry control. He began writing Slave on his face in 1995 to protest his contracts with record labels and to advocate for artistic freedom. As an act of rebellion against his record label, he even changed his name to an unpronounceable love symbol and maintained this for 7 years before reverting back to Prince. He was born on the 7th day of June and viewed 7 as a sacred number. He wrote a mysterious song called 7, and the number 7 is woven within the love symbol that he used. Here's some insight into the symbol shared by one of its creators, Mitch Monson. It clearly shows that there is more than one astrological reference, the main being the 2 symbols for Venus and Mars, the symbols that are used for male and female. As an interesting side note, the 7th vibration or harmonic in astrology is the irrational aspect called a septile. Irrational because 7 does not divide evenly into the 360-degree circle that represents Earth in a horoscope. This is a metaphysical line of energy and is associated with otherworldly inspiration. So far, so many repetitions of this theme in Prince's chart. In astrological circles, Prince's chart is often used as the go-to example for the septile aspect, or 7th harmonic, because he has so many of them. Said another way, his chart vibrates 7ness. I can't help but wonder if he knew this. Altogether, the 3 points make an achievement triangle, also known as a T-square. Uranus, the awakener, innovator, maverick, genius, is at the apex and is the focal point for activation of the 2 octaves of love. Personal love and sex from the Venus square, and divine love and spirituality from the Neptune square. In a talking head video documentary on Prince, a female interviewee observed that Prince's music either made you want to get on your knees and pray, or just get on your knees. You get the idea. Prince wasn't just making music, he was sparking revolutions in sexual expression and spiritual consciousness. Uranus the revolutionary is joined by the asteroid Atropos, named for one of the 3 fates in Greek mythology. And so it looks like this achievement of a love revolution really was his destiny. A destiny that he fulfilled over 5 decades and across many stages around the world. The achievement triangle is one of the most common configurations in an astrology chart. It's estimated that up to 40% of charts have this pattern. Although the three constituents will differ person to person, and then the houses that they land in will also differ, making the experience of the achievement triangle different for each person. That said, I wonder if you have this pattern in common with one of the greatest love revolutionaries of our modern times. Speaking of which, my next video will be a step-by-step on how to find if you have an achievement triangle or T-square, where it lands and the flavour of it. Subscribe with the notification bell if you want to get notified when that drops. I reckon it'll be in about a week or so. To create the LightSong, the energy lines between Venus, Neptune and Uranus in Prince's chart are made visible by painting them in the colours of the planets and in the shape of a light wave. This wave configuration is the beginning of what will become Prince's LightSong of Venus. When I started this LightSong, I had no idea it was going to be so perfectly suited in its colour palette and delicacy, matching the love sexy image that I chose at the outset. The colours are dictated by the planets involved in the pattern, and the transparency of the waves are dictated by the intensity of the energy, or in astro speak, the tightness of orb for each aspect. Moments of revelation of a LightSong, when a LightSong first reveals itself, can feel magical. This was definitely one of those moments, like Prince was directing this from beyond, or is that from above? A LightSong is a digital soul portrait. It makes the light we cannot see visible, our own sacred light visible, and produced either as an image to print and put on the wall to be enjoyed like any masterpiece, the masterpiece of you and your own sacred vibration, or as a meditation mandala, a light song that plays for you to enjoy. The vibrations of colour are communicating through your eyes and being taken into your soul and resonating a coherence because you are witnessing your own starry vibrations. Or while you're watching this, you're witnessing Prince's love vibrations. Twice a bearer of water, forever learning to be wise. I see us in space, beyond the skies. Quantum beauty above as below. We are star souls wrapped in skin, head to toe. Creating with love, new earth in sight. I make visible our true heart's light. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the love vibration of the late Prince Rogers Nelson. I'm of an age where, well, actually, I'm just a year younger than he was when he passed away. And in the making of this video, gosh, it's been a trip down memory lane. In 1984, I was a young 15-year-old girl madly in love with Prince and wishing I was Apollonia Kotero in the film, probably along with most of the teenage girl population in the world. So yes, I just wanted to pop in here to say to all you fellow Prince fans, I feel you. I feel the loss of him being here in the flesh on this earth. However, being an astrologist, I am also of the belief that energy doesn't die. It just changes form. He is still with us. And in exploring his pattern, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's taken me this long to do it, but I discovered some parallels, not least of which is that I have an achievement triangle in my birth makeup, and I have Venus and I have Uranus as part of that triangle, although they're in different houses and different signs. So I experience that Venusian, Uranian energy in a different way. So yes, I would love to help you find the common points in your starry makeup and Prince's starry makeup. If you get in touch because you want to see your sacred light, I would be so honored and delighted to hear from you. With so much love from my heart's light to yours. Bye for now.